Welcome back to video 4. This is going to be the overview video. Now that you've seen pretty much all the little details, my side of things, things said by Anna and Justin, how police interpreted things, how Gabe saw stuff, I'm going to go back through with my approximate events sheet that's about to come online here, and I'm going to show you what happened step by step through this whole process. Also, keep in mind through this whole thing, I am about getting to the truth of the matter. So all of this is as close to the reality of the situation as I could get, taking information from all sides and sticking it together. Unless you were there, and none of you were, it's kind of hard to keep track of all the events and what's taking place. So as I explain this step by step, I'm going to add in different pieces of video that apply at the time of the situation we're talking about. So we're going to start with going back to when Anna first moved her vehicle here sometime Saturday night, and the first encounter I have with her Sunday morning about 8 o'clock. I don't usually get up at 8 to go do my car work, but because I had an appointment at 9 o'clock, I came to the shop early to gather some equipment and supplies that I didn't have. I don't carry everything in the trunk of my car. I usually just have the necessities. And then anything extra I go to the shop and get, and then return at the shop when I'm done. So this is where I first meet Anna. I've gotten my stuff, gotten back in my car. She has her driver's door open into the street, and because of the car parked on the other side of the street, there's really only barely enough room for a car to get by. When I do finally try, she gets out of her car and yells at me for almost hitting her door. I don't like being yelled at outside of my business for stupid stuff, so I pull over and ask her why she had her door open for so long. She's like, "I'm trying to get out." It's like, "Yeah, for 10 minutes?" In retrospect, I think this was her way of engineering a confrontation so she could figure out who I was, what my business was about, who the other guy was, and figure out just all that stuff so she knew how long she could stay here. So when I got out of my car, after a little bit, she's like, "Hey, let's start over." And after that, we had a fairly regular rapport going forward.
I had an incident with him when I first got here. He tried to hit my car door because it was open. He goes, "Well, your car door should be open." I'm like, "I was trying to get out." So, and then we decided to talk, and, I was like, "Hey, let's start over again." You know what I mean? So we did that, and he seemed fine, but...
So with the exception of when she says, I was trying to hit her car, which I never was, that's just how she saw it, I agree with everything else she said. That's basically, in a nutshell, how we met. At least how she came to know me. I had known her from when she was parked by Highland Park, so I was familiar with who she was, her vehicle, the bike next door vehicle. Moving forward to Monday night, I'm leaving the gate at 10:22 approximately, as far as I can figure, and that's when she asked to talk to me while I'm fiddling with the lock on the gate, which is giving me a hard time, as it sometimes does. And then this is what comes next.
So all of a sudden I said, "Hey, can I talk to you real quick before you leave?" Because he was leaving his brother's shop.
I mostly agree with her. That's how it happened, with the exception of when she asked to talk to me as I was leaving the gate and locking the gate. I told her, "I'm armed, I have knives on me, it's not for you. Is it okay if I approach you?" And she said yes, and even added as I was walking over towards her, "In this neighborhood, I don't blame you." In an effort to be thorough, I later went back with a 200-foot measuring tape and measured distances for my trial in case it came up. Fortunately, it never did, but I just wanted to point out that it's approximately 35 feet from where I was at the gate to where she was talking to me, asking me to come over and talk to her. When I did approach her, she was sitting in the rear passenger side of her vehicle, and I stayed about 6 feet away from her. At this point, I didn't know who Justin was. I thought it was a female. It wasn't until he went and got his walking staff, quote unquote, and started trying to belittle me that I realized he was talking with the voice of a man. The moment I get next to Anna's SUV and we start talking is about 10:23 p.m., a minute after I've left the gate. Now, a couple of things happened here at the same time that I didn't realize until later. And while I'm talking to Anna, about 15 seconds into the conversation, the red dot in front of Anna's vehicle is Justin. He walks back to his shopping cart that's around the corner to get his walking staff, quote unquote, and this is the distance that it would have taken him to walk. I only found out where Justin's cart was parked later because one of the neighbors who I'm friends with told me they had been recording Anna and the people she was attracting in an effort to try to get her removed from the neighborhood. When they showed me the video originally, I didn't understand the significance that it was of where Justin's cart was parked and how long it would have taken him to walk there. What you're looking at right here is something on the order of 190 feet to his shopping cart and the same distance back, roughly. He actually goes a little further because he walks along the sidewalk all the way back. Why this matters is because in his statement to the police that he recalls, he has very specific details about the conversation me and Anna are currently having while he's walking around the corner. He has no way to know this. What he's telling the police is an absolute lie because he wasn't there for 56 seconds. I walked this so I would have a pretty good guess of how long he was gone, and he couldn't have known the things he was saying. The only thing he could have heard is the first 15 seconds, because when he walks back is almost 1 minute later that's elapsed from me talking to Anna, and she has since shut herself inside of her car. When she's recording me, we no longer have a conversation, and that's when you see Justin return. I wish anybody with a brain like the cops would have realized Justin couldn't have been present for this, based on the video they watch of Anna recording me. And that's why I'm going to throw in these video clips that are next, because it proves Justin couldn't have been nearby and couldn't have heard any of this. He was making it all up on the fly when he's talking to the police.
Okay. Let me take these off so I can write a little better. Tell me what happened.
So earlier this evening, he was setting off the car alarms.
Okay.
Next to where she parks, just harassing her. And he was standing behind the Kia over there with his binoculars, like looking at her and fucking just I thought it was super creepy, personally. And
Okay, I can't help it. I gotta stop here and say, this guy has no business being the judge of what's creepy or weird or harassment. Harassment, by the way, is a physical or verbal assault. That never happened. So his definition of harassment and threats aren't within reality. And yes, I had binoculars with me because my brother had asked me to bring my pair of Nikon hunting binoculars so we could try to figure out who Justin was.
earlier this evening, he was setting off the car alarms.
Okay.
Next to where she parks, just harassing her. And he was standing behind the Kia over there with his binoculars, like looking at her and fucking just I thought it was super creepy, personally. And I was leaving. I had been talking to her, and I was going down to get my cards. I had my cards down the street. Safe. I thought it was a safe situation for her, kind of, And then he comes out of the gate a little bit after I got back up here. He comes out of the gate. He's drinking in the, so there's like a beer can that he threw into the little yard over there. You can still see it. It's like a Bud Light or something like that, a blue can. And he's just comes over and stands by the car and starts telling her that she was all like, hey, because they'd had some interaction before, so she was like trying to figure out, what's going on. And he's like, oh, I'm aware of the situation he's on. It's going to keep happening. And basically...
What situation? Him?
The setting off the alarms, harassing her, threatening her, basically like threatening her and harassing her, It was going to continue and until she moved. And if there was any retaliation, he said, if there's any retaliation, then we're going to call the cops on you and blah, blah, blah. You'll be the one getting in trouble, basically. I walked back to. I told him that I thought that was bullshit, him harassing a fucking woman. You know what I mean? Like, especially a homeless woman. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was bullshit. You know, and I walked away. I grabbed a little kind of metal staff type thing. You know. Strictly for just in case, you know, for defense or whatever, and I never threatened him with it or anything. I just used it as kind of
For the sake of giving as much information as possible, when I was arrested, I was found with one set of keys on me. They searched my body, they searched my backpack, it has a lot of stuff in it, but only had one set of keys. And that set of keys, when they hit the panic button, didn't set off any car alarms anywhere in the vicinity because my car was parked 5 blocks away intentionally. When I had originally heard Anna talking inside of her vehicle, I thought Justin was in there with her, or who I thought Justin was. It was only when I saw Justin walking back on the sidewalk, kind of in the dark, towards me, that I realized who he was and that he was coming back with a weapon. And it was for that reason that I pulled out my little 3-inch pocket knife in the first place, because he didn't have that originally.
Yeah.
What happened?
I just walked back up to the sidewalk where he was still standing there, like harassing her at the car, you know, and I didn't threaten him with it or anything. I just walked by. I didn't even talk to him actually. You know, he tried to talk to me again. He's all, "You're not gonna come up with the step or anything." I was like, "I'm not even gonna talk to you." I was just being there for her, you know, and she was recording him on the phone because while I was gone, he apparently was saying more stuff about, you know, threatening me, harassing her. So
I'm glad that he said this last part because I never talked to him, and the first time he talked to me was after he had walked past me, and about 10 seconds later he comes back towards me and starts trying to insult me. He was the one that initiated conversation, not me. This is a good place to stop, and we can really get into the meat and potatoes of stuff next time. If you're still sticking with me, thank you. I appreciate it, and I will see you in video 5. Catch you next time.